Hey guys, it is Wednesday here in West Virginia, and today we're going to do a wheel swap Wednesday, along with unboxing a brand new car from my collection. Not sure if I'm going to leave the wheels on it after we wheel swap it or not, but the vehicle I'm talking about is this guy here. The All-Terrain Series 10 1977 Dodge Ramcharger. And this thing's really cool. I don't know why these things are so hard to get at a reasonable price nowadays. Not this particular model. That's why I ended up with this particular model, because it's one of the cheapest ones. This, and there's a Texas, I don't think it's police, it's some kind of security, safety vehicle, black and white. And it doesn't look too bad. I may pick it up, but all the other ones are like 20 bucks, and then maybe 15 bucks at the cheapest. I don't know why. I guess because they are very desirable and they haven't been making many of them lately, maybe is the reason. I know there's one coming up in the hobby shop collection later on in the year, and there's still the Great Outdoors one that's lifted with the tent that goes on the top, which is a cool one. The only problem is you have to be careful, because sometimes the rear end and front ends are a little bit out of whack. They're kind of crooked, and that's because it's an external plastic piece that glues to the bottom of the chassis. That's how they made their lift kits, so they don't sometimes glue them on straight. That's the problem with those ones. I ordered one, but I had to return them because of that reason. And another downside of that one, it's got two little holes drilled in the roof so the tent can sit there. I wish they would not have done that, because I wasn't even going to use my tent. I was hoping that I could just leave it as a stock, well, not stock, but lifted Ramcharger. Well, anyways, this one here, let's go ahead and get him out of the package and look at him. As you can see in Series 10, though, before I rip it open, it consisted of 1971 Jeepster Commando, the 77 Ramcharger, a 78 Ford F-250, an 84 GMC Jimmy Sierra Classic, a 92 Ford Bronco, and a 2020 Chevy Silverado High Country. Pretty cool lineup, actually. So, I've already cut this where it opens like a door. And this is the first time this has been out of the package, actually. I just got this in the mail yesterday, so this is the first time he's coming out. We'll look at him together, and there's a lot of slop in the, as you can see, the wheel tire goes back and forth. There's a lot of slop play in here, which is cool, because that gives you opportunity if you have a bigger axle to use it, like a thicker axle or some aftermarket wheels or something. I know that's the one thing I've run into with Hot Wheels. Whenever I use M2 wheels and tires on the Hot Wheels, the hole where the axle goes through is really tight. You have to run the axle in and out a couple of times to even get the car to roll, and even then it's stiff. It rolls, but you have to push it along. But this is kind of nice because you have that little bit of play in there. It gives you room for bigger axles. And as all of these, they have a removable top. And I don't know why some of the old models they released, they didn't give you a top. They had some topless Ramchargers and Trail Dusters, and it never made sense to me, because it's not like the roof is fixed on the ones with the top. It's removable, so they should have just gave you the roof. So that seems like a cheap way of cutting some cost, or a shitty way of cutting some cost, I should say. But you can, I think, get them aftermarket. Some people that have 3D printers can make them, probably. Nice detail on the grill and such. Nice with the Dodge emblem. Nice detail on the hood. Body lines, the recessed areas. Kind of reminds me of like the 71, 72 Roadrunner GTX hood that had this, I call them C inserts. Looks almost like, just like it, looking at it from above. Nice detail with the wipers and all of that. So the thing is very nicely detailed, as you can see. 4x4. It looks like maybe there's a paint flaw there. Or maybe it's something to do with the lock. I'm not sure what that is. But anyways, not that big of a deal. Dodge emblem. Nice detailed tail lights. I'm hoping M2 does a Ramcharger. So, these wheels and tires. I'm not sure how I feel about them. So, what we're going to do is try to pry them off. And usually these come off pretty easily. Sometimes not, though. And what I try to do sometimes is get the screwdriver in there and work it up like one side at a time. That way you don't bend the axle. Just kind of go from one side to the other, and sometimes it'll get it freed up a little bit where you can get the wheel and tire off. Give me 1 second here. I gotta pull it from in front of the camera. There we go. Put a little bit more arm grease in there to get it out. So yeah, they just kind of pull right off with a little bit of finagling with a flat blade. Like I said, just don't put all the pressure on one side, because if you do that, you'll bend the axle in one direction, and it's a bear to get them to straighten back out. So the wheels I was thinking about using are these M2 wheels, but I'm not sure how well they're going to look because this doesn't have a dropped base. So I'll put this axle back through here and then see if this will start on the Greenlight axle. And it feels like it will, actually. So I'm not going to force it all the way on there yet, but basically that's... Oh, well, you guys can't really see it, can you? So that's how it's going to sit, and that's really not too bad. I thought it wasn't going to look so good because of the ride height, but it looks pretty decent. Now, the front may look a little out of place because they're narrower, and it's a four-wheel drive truck. But anyways, we'll just see how it looks. So we'll go ahead and get the back ones off again. And once again, kind of just finagle one side at a time. And if sometimes those little, I don't know, nipples in the back, if they crack, sometimes they'll crack where you're prying on them because the axle binds up and pushes on it and then breaks that little nipple. Usually it doesn't break it, it just cracks it. It don't break pieces off, usually. Sometimes that can happen, but if that happens, then it's a little bit harder to get them to stay on the axle. But if it just cracks and say it just continuously falls off, then you can just use glue and glue the wheel and tire on. But the only problem is that in the future you're not going to be able to wheel swap it again. See, this is kind of what I mean. As you can see, mine cracked a little bit, but as I said, if you put glue on it and slide it back on there, it'll be okay. And these wagon wheels or trailer wheels, whatever you want to call them, they might look better if I just painted them black. I don't know. So what we're going to do is just take a look at it with the M2 wheel and tire combo on it. See how it looks sitting here in front of us. My eyes are getting bad, guys. Bear with me pulling it off the camera. There and such. So basically that's how it would look. Not too bad, actually. Better than I thought it would, but it would look a little bit better if it was lower to the ground. But I think it looks better than having these wheels on it, in my opinion. But actually, if I had 4 of them that were that width, if I had 2 more back wheels to put on the front, it would probably look better. But anyways, yeah, I'll probably leave it like this. So basically, that's all there is to wheel swapping these things. And if you can't use like the Greenlight axle, then you have your M2 axles that usually come with your model kits that have the little lift and have like 2 sets of wheels and tires. You can use the axles and such because one more thing I'll just show you here. I'll slide that out, and then I'll just show you with this axle. The M2 axles slide right in. As you can see, that one just fell through all the way through. So yeah, they go in with no problem. So if you have an issue getting the wheels and tires off the axles from Greenlight, or they're too wide or something, you can use your M2 ones on it also. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys, for today's Wheel Swap Wednesday. And we will be back again on Friday to do a Free It Friday with probably a funny car, most likely, because that's pretty much what I have in my stock right now. We have a lot of funny cars to do for you guys that I've obtained from the old Drag Strip Demon sets. So, have a great week. Getting over this hump day. It's the downhill to the weekend now, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you on Friday.